Good evening. It's now August 2020 and it's around about now that I start thinking about a future log for next year. I've got appointments already coming in for next year with 5 children and my mum. You know, I sort of keep a diary for everybody so that I know what's going on. So I thought I would come on and show you how I do it. I have a piece of white card. This is going to be my cover. You can use any card, you can have pre-decorated if you want, or you can have plain. I'm going to have plain and I'm going to decorate it probably more towards the end of next year. This is just the bare bones on how to put this together. I've also got here 9 sheets of paper that I have printed a dot grid onto. Okay. It's not brilliantly printed because I normally print from my phone, which prints it to the correct size. Instead, I don't have no internet, so I can't air print anything. I'm having issues, so I've had to do this hardwired through my computer, and it just doesn't like it. So it's done it all off center and all off kilter, but that doesn't matter. So first and foremost, you want to prep everything, okay? So we start off by simply folding the paper. You want something like a decent bone folder. There are several different types you can use. This is the most popular one, a long straight one. I personally prefer one like this because I like to push it rather than going like that. I don't know why, just that's what I do. So take your time on this because this is what makes it all neat. Make sure your corners all match up before you add your crease in. And just go ahead and do that to all of your paper. So put the crease in and then just run your bone folder on just to help set that crease. You can do it several sheets at a time or one at a time, whatever is your preference. I find you've got less scope of messing up if you only do one sheet at a time. I'm being careful as I put my pages together because my dot grid printed off center to make sure that they're all facing the same way so that any unevenness is sort of balanced out. So I've now got my sheets and all I'm going to do is stack them inside each other. So on the inside the dot grid it doesn't meet up properly in the middle, which is okay because, like I say, I'm making sure that the lack of gap on one side is taken care of on the other. This will be, I don't use like a monthly in my main book. I put all my monthly calendars in here. This is something I started doing last year, this year rather. And I really like how it's worked. It's worked really, really well for me. So I'm going to continue on this year, and it will hold my future log and any year-long trackers that I want to add in here. So that's it, all together like that. Okay, now your piece of card, you can score it, or you can just go straight in and fold it. I'm really rubbish at scoring, but I'm going to have a go at it anyway. It's finding the middle that I have the issue with. My scoreboard's a bit of a mess. So let's have a look. Now I think actually I'm not going to score it because it's off, isn't it? Whichever way I do it, because this doesn't exactly meet a score, so I'm not going to use this because for some reason all scoreboards are in American sort of, you know, measurements, and it's just off whichever way you do it. Right, so you want to do the same thing for your paper. For your card that you did for your paper, but it's even more but it's not more important, but you know, you want to get it right. So get your edges and then rub up to the spine like so. Okay, and then you can get your bone folder in to help make that more of a nice deep crease. See, even so I still managed to get it slightly off. Right, now you want to work out which way you want to put your pages in. If you're off like mine is, and that's the bare bones of it. Okay, so now we're gonna actually sew it together. I have a template that I made ages ago for TN books. See, whole stencil for TN notebooks. And what I've done in this is I have worked out where I would punch for a 3-hole or a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. It's actually getting a bit worn, this. I'll have to make another one. This was very, very simple. All I did was I got some card that is the height of an A5 sheet, and I folded it in half. I worked out where the middle was using a ruler, and I marked it, and then I did an equal distance from the centre hole going here and here, and then I did the same going the other way. And then all I do with that is I stick it in the middle of my book like so. Then you want to grab an awl, commonly referred to as a pokey tool. Now some people open their books right up, yeah, and punch down onto a sponge. I don't do that because the pages move. So what I do is I place my awl into the centre hole of my template. Okay, then I fold the book and I push through straight until the needle appears. Can you see that? Just there. See it just poking out. Okay, don't want to go, you know, too huge, but once it's in place, that's fine. Then you want to go to wherever you are going to punch next. I think I'll make this a 5-stitch one, why not? And poke through on that one. The trick is to not move any of your paper. So you can poke 3 holes or 5 holes, either will do on a notebook of this size. There we go. Push it all away. Remove your template. The amount of times I have forgotten and sewn my bloody template into the middle of my book. Okay, now you want some needle and thread. Now, some people use waxed linen thread, waxed cotton thread, and all these wonderful different combinations. I use plain old cotton, or, you know, polycotton, or whatever I pull out of my bloody sewing box. This is quite an old reel of, I don't know whether you say mercerised or mercurised, whatever, cotton, made in Sweden. Okay, it's been in my sewing box for yonk, so I'm going to use some of that. And you can use a wide variety of needles. You can use big needles, curved needles, little needles, you know, whatever. I don't need a massive needle, so I'll take this little itty bitty one here. Let's just hope I can thread it. Got a needle threader somewhere, I'll have to find it. Now, I'm going to hold this doubled, so you will want to go 1, 2, I think it's 4 times, I can never remember, but you know, doesn't matter, does it? So this is the fun bit. Oh wow, first time. That's because you lot are watching, that's what that is. Get your 2 ends together, like so, and put it straight. Now, if you don't want your knot visible on the spine, you want to start on the inside. If you don't want your knot visible on the inside, but you don't mind it being on the spine, then you'll start from the outside. Go to your centre pages and start with your centre knot. Thread the needle through the hole. It should go through, you know, because you make quite a nice decent hole. Yeah. And pull your cotton. Now hold your tails because you're going to need those in a little bit. I don't think I've given myself enough cotton. Come either way, you can go either way. It does not matter. Go to the next hole. Then out through the next hole. So you should now, if you're doing a 5 stitch, be at the top. Okay? And you should have a blank and then some cotton. And then on the outside you should have cotton and then a blank going from the middle. So now you want to go back through the next hole down. Okay? Like so. When you need to pull in the direction you are sewing. Okay, because otherwise you are likely to tear the pages, and you don't want to do that after all this work. And you literally sew like a running stitch. Just go in and out and in and out all the way down. Should really used a different colour, make it a bit easier for you guys to see. Now, I'll come back up here. So what do? Because I've got a gap. Well, you could, if you were so inclined, I'm just going to give myself a little bit more room here. You could just tie your knot in between the 2 holes. I personally find that quite hard to do. So I go underneath this first set of strings with my needle. Just underneath it, underneath both sets of, because it's obviously it's doubled. And you want to pull in either direction. There you go, make it nice and tight. And now you just tie a knot. So you've tied a nice double knot, and you can now snip this in quite close, you know. Looks great, doesn't it? It looks absolutely wonderful, you're going to tell yourself. Right up until you close your book. And then you're going to go, well, hang on a minute, your pages are sticking out, I don't like that. If you don't like that, continue watching. If you do like that, congratulations, it's done. Okay, and you can leave it. I don't like that, so I'm going to do something about it. I will reinforce my spine again, and I will get out my cutting mat. I'll throw it across the floor first, apparently, but there you go. Okay. I'll get out my cutting mat. I'm also going to get out a ruler that I can use. This has got a metal edge in it, like Tim Holtz rulers. So you want something that's got a metal edge in it, and you want a craft knife. Okay, this is rather bigger than you've probably seen online. Then what you want to do is you want to match your metal edge of your ruler up with the cover. Okay, in line with the cover. All right. Now make sure you've got it exactly right, and keep a firm hold on the ruler. This hand you're going to slice. You don't have to press hard when you're cutting. Just moved ever so slightly then, which is infuriating. This is more about repetition than it is about strength. Alright, if you've got a nice sharp cutting tool, I obviously need to buy some new blades for mine. I obviously moved a little bit because that doesn't look 100% straight. This is why you need to have a firm hand on your ruler, because you do not want the bloody thing to move. because once you move, that's it. Yeah, starting to make that look raggedy now. Anyway, once you've got it, if you're not 100% happy, you can always use scissors. I'm going to give mine another going over. If it's easier, stand up and do it. Because that helps you apply an even pressure on your ruler. The trick is, make sure you have a sharp blade when you do it, and then it won't look so crappy. I need to replace my blade, which is why it looks crappy. Some people, when they're done, get an emery board, nail file type thing. Just take the sharpness off, and any extra bits. If that bothers you. Some people it bothers, some people it doesn't. Right, but now you're going to say, well, I want nice rounded corners, Sam. What do I do about that? What you do about that is you get a corner rounder, and most corner rounder, unless it's one of those big bite chomper things, it's not going to cut through all of that. So you do it in sections, okay? I like a wide corner on mine, which is a 10mm. Put it in and chomp, okay? So that's your cover done, okay? I haven't done many pages, so what I tend to do is do 2 or 3 at a time. In this case, let's do 3. So you get 3 pieces of paper. Make sure they are even together when you do it, okay? Put them in, chomp. Put them in and chomp. Okay, and just work your way through the book, a few pages at a time, making sure that they are all in line when you chomp it. And then last but not least, do the back cover, or the front cover, depending on which way you went through it. There you go. And there you have it. There's your book. It's all neat, it's all in line, all the way around. It's sewn nice and neatly down the spine. I mean, you can't even see it because it's white on white. Personally, what I quite often do is I will use a wider washi tape and just bind it just to help this thread hold it in place. Now, you're going to look at it and go, yeah, but what's that book for? I am about to show you. Just clear up a little bit because I'm a heck of a messy crafter. And then what I do in my this is my yearly book, okay? This was last year's, which as you can see is ever so battered, which is why I say I probably won't decorate it until next year. I've got some collections in here. This is my year in photos. I've got time capsule. I put a gift tracker, which I haven't started using yet, it's for Christmas mostly, a savings tracker, and then I go into my monthlies. And my monthlies are, I've got them all in here, okay? So all of my monthly appointments for the whole year are in here, okay? So I can write them all the way through, and it works really, really well for me. I write the month down the side, as you can see, and then that's it, really, And then what I do is when I get to my actual monthly in my book, I will show you, for example, this month, I just go straight into it. There is no monthly page. I have my cover page, and then I start off with my monthly trackers, like these, and then I go into my weekly pages. And when I finish my weekly page, there'll be another monthly cover page, and then each week as I do my weekly tracker and my weekly spread, I will go back to, so it's marked with a paper clip so that I know which one it is. I will go back to here, and whatever needs to be moved through for this week, so for example all that got moved through when I did this weekly spread. So I don't copy this monthly spread, I just do it on a weekly basis. So this becomes a long-term future log as well as a current future log really, and this book stays with me for the whole year. This one I did decoupage paper with a napkin on it and die cut these numbers out. I guess I need to stick these back down again because they've obviously got caught up on the pocket. And that was all I did for that one. This one you can see I've stuck some matching tape down onto this book to protect the spine because this is quite a chunky book. But this was done in almost exactly the same process, except in this one it's got signatures. So I've done, this has got 3 signatures in this book. But it was done in almost exactly the same way. What I did for this one, so that's where the signatures meet. I created my 3 holes in each signature and my cover. I sewed the middle signature in, and then I sewed this signature in, and I went through the same holes on the cover when I did it. And I did that with the back signature as well, which I'm not even working in yet. This is the back signature. I've got too many pages really. I need to chuck some trackers and stuff in it. But yeah, that's all I did for this to make this a bigger version. And this is my yearly planner, and I plan to do this again like this for next year because it worked really, really well for me this year. Anyway, I hope you found that somewhat helpful. I expect this is going to end up filthy, but yeah, that's why I'll decorate it later. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. If you have any comments, suggestions, questions, feedback, if you think I did something too fast, I didn't explain it well enough, please let me know and I will try to explain down in the comments. Please feel free to give this video a thumbs up. I would really, really, really appreciate it. If you click the book down in that corner, you will be subscribed, and if you hit the bell, you'll then be notified when I upload new content. I will, in another couple of months, be making another one of these for next year. Okay, I just want to know how many pages I did too many, because like I said, I've literally just hit the halfway point in this book, and we are at the 3rd of August already. So it's you know, I wanted to have a couple of spare pages. It looks like I'm gonna have quite a bit, but that's yeah, it's neither here nor there. So this will get put in at the end of my notebook system after I've drawn in all of my calendars and work, you know, made notes on what I'm going to do. The only thing I might do differently is I might put my monthlies at the front of the book instead of at the back. I haven't quite decided yet. This will be my resolutions page, I know that much, so I'm not really sure. But anyway, there you go. Take it easy guys, and I'll see you next time.